welcome to episode 82. 82 of
It is 82.
of the Cherry Purls podcast. We are a knitting and crafting fiber podcast coming to you every other weekish from outside New Orleans, Louisiana, and we are super happy that you're here with us today.
Nobody can see what you're doing.
I will show them in a second because I was going to have a segue.
Oh, okay.
So it has been a couple of weeks. It's been over 2 weeks since we last podcasted.
Just a little.
I had a back spasm that kind of incapacitated me for a couple of days. So we've had some distractions, but the biggest distraction has been this little man. If y'all follow us on Instagram, you will have seen he was found in a dumpster behind a denture's place, and my brother rescued him and brought him home, so we have decided to keep him, and we'll see if he'll be good throughout the episode. He probably will put him out eventually, probably.
Yeah, I thought you were going to wear your sleeping bag.
Oh, yeah. Well, his name is Hagrid, and I have a hoodie that, it's like a pullover hoodie, and I wear it backwards, and he sleeps in the hood, so I thought about wearing it, but it looks kind of stupid whenever I wear it backwards, but...
Yeah, but nobody can see that it's... Everybody would be looking at what's in the hood. Nobody would be looking at anything else that you're wearing.
Yeah, well, he's being good right now. He'll be good for a little bit, but probably the moving and showing stuff is going to jostle him around. But I know people wanted to see him, so let's show him up close.
Yeah, he's about 6 weeks old, and we've had him for about a week.
Yep. So his hashtag, since he gets a hashtag, is Helper Hagrid, because he is very helpful with yarn crafts.
Just like the other cats?
Yeah. So now that we've introduced him, we should probably introduce ourselves.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, most important first.
Yes. I am Robin.
I'm Mary.
You can find me as Teenybutton on Instagram and Ravelry, and Mancy Shop is Teenybutton Studio, where I sell hand-dyed yarn.
And I am Snippin' Full on Ravelry, and on Instagram, I am Cherry Purls Mary.
And we have a podcast group. It is Cherry Purls Podcast on Ravelry. That's where you can find the show notes for this episode, links to everything we're going to talk about, any giveaways or knit-alongs that we have in the future. Everything is hosted there, and it'll be linked down below. I also have a newsletter for Teenybutton Studio. That'll be linked down below as well if you'd like to sign up. What else is going to be down there? That's probably it, just those 2 links, huh?
I think that's usually all.
Yes. So, upcoming show news. Just a reminder that we are going to be at Houston Fiber Fest. That's going to be June 22nd through 24th.
I think he's going to sleep.
Yeah, so I'm just going to hang on to him for a second. We'll be at Houston Fiber Fest. We'll be vending, so we will be in the Teenybutton Studio booth. But if you come by and see us, please come say hi. If you come to the show, please come see us and say hi.
Yeah.
And then we will also be at SSK in July, the 18th through the 22nd, but the market will be open on the 21st, and that is open to the public, so you can come and see us then. You don't even need to buy yarn, just come see us.
Yeah, come over and say hey.
Yep, we love meeting podcast viewers. It's kind of crazy, but it's always fun.
Yeah.
I have a new stockist for Teenybutton Studio for anyone in the Austin, Texas area. Hill Country Weavers is now carrying Teenybutton Studio yarn. They're actually just about to get a new shipment. They've sold out of a couple of colorways, so I'm going to send them some more yarn. So if you're in the area and you go and you don't see something you like, then come back in a couple of weeks and they will have more yarn. So we have a coupon code. Would you like to do that one?
Sure. Georgianne of the Stitching Plaza has graciously offered a coupon code to our viewers, and we will post the coupon code down here below.
Or on the screen. It'll be
on
somewhere.
the screen.
You'll see it.
Usually it's toward the bottom,
Yeah.
and that coupon code is good for 15% off of items in her store. Yeah. And words are hard. And we will also link to her shop in the show notes. Mm-hmm. And that coupon code is good through June 30th of 2018.
Yep. And we have a bag we're going to show in acquisitions. Throw me something, mister.
Yes.
So I think that's all the administrative news that we have. Would you like to go first with your finished objects?
I just have a bunch of the same thing.
Oh, go for it.
Okay. Well, last week I showed that I was working on these, and I have completed a bunch. These are baby hats. Let me turn the show notes over. The pattern that I have been using is the Greenport Watchman Preemie Baby Hat. And what I like about this pattern, and it comes in a lot of sizes, it also goes up to bigger sizes. So these aren't actually all preemies. These are for larger kids and for toddlers as well. But yeah, so I've knit a bunch of baby hats. And that's all I have. If you see something hanging, when I do hats for charity, I always add the information for care. And so if you see something that's dangling off of these are already labeled and ready to go into the bag that I have set aside for charity knits.
And just real quick, if you ever send us hats for cancer patients or for preemies or anything, we're happy to take them and donate them to the places that we donate to. But please make sure that we know what the fiber content is so we can label them.
Yeah, it's, you would feel the same thing. If somebody gives you something, you'd like to know the care instructions. Some people have allergies, so that knowing the fiber content as well as care instruction, we always put those on the things that we donate just so that the recipient knows how to care for them and what it's made of.
Yep.
So that's it.
Cool beans. So I have one finished object. These, can you hold one and I'll hold the other?
Sure, I can hold both.
Oh, sure, that works. Can't bother the baby. These are my mustache yarn socks. The colorway is Family Reunion. And the cuff and toe colorway are just the mini skein that she had in her booth.
There's 2.
So there are 2 socks because I have 2 feet. Crazy. I cast these on with the intention of doing cut-in afterthought heels so that I could just knit straight while we were driving to DFW. And that worked out great. I chose to use the striping yarn for the heel because I figured if I'm already going to cut it in, I might as well have it stripe instead of, like, if I was just going to do a contrast heel, I would have just done a fish lips kiss heel because they are easier. And I do like how it looks with the stripes. So I cut in, obviously, to the burgundy color. And I had to wind a little bit of yarn off, but it didn't waste too much of it. And I used the Kirby Werby tutorial on YouTube, and then I used the Susan B. Anderson smooth operator sock pattern
for the actual heel part?
For the actual heel part. And she has instructions for a single line of decreases, so that's what I do. Her other one kind of looks like the side of the toe where it's got the 2 stitches.
So there's the double stitches there.
Yeah.
And then she's talking about the single line of decreases there.
I like how it looks. Just personal preference. Although if I really cared, I would match the toe and the heel, but whatever.
Really don't care.
I really don't care. So this is a 68 stitch sock. I knit this on a US 1. You up? The skein was only 75 grams, and it's still, I got a full size pair of socks, minus cuffs and toes, so worked out good. Yeah. So that is my only finished object this week. Might be my 7th finished pair of socks this year. Maybe my 6th. I gotta go check, but I finished some socks this year, and this is one of them. So I think I'm going to put you out. Do you want to go out?
He started playing with Pearl.
Yeah.
That started yesterday. Cereza and Pearl, for pretty much the full week, haven't had much to do with him. He was the intruder. But starting yesterday evening or so, Pearl decided that, hey, he might be fun to play with, and they've been having a great time today. Yeah. So you going to go out and play with Miss Pearl?
Yeah, I think he took his little power nap, and now he's going to go out. So I'm going to go put him outside, out the door, not outside, and I'll be right back. So the baby has been let out, and we're ready to move on to works in progress.
Yeah, you want to go first?
Sure. This is my least interesting one.
I don't know why she says that.
What?
Why is it least interesting?
It's just a vanilla sock, and it's not even like a striping yarn. It's just like a regular variegated yarn.
Yeah, but you're already tired of it, and why is that?
I don't know.
Because you're knitting them on size 0s?
Oh, yeah. This is my Brunch of Commander sock, and I put a really good chunk of work into it. I think I was just past the heel the last time I showed y'all, and now I'm on the ribbing, and I'm almost done. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably finish the cuff and then cast the second one on, and then that will be my going to Houston knitting for next month, because I like vanilla socks for car knitting and show knitting, because I like to work on a sock out of my own yarn. That's not terribly complicated, and I won't have to measure this time because I can just measure it up against this sock instead of having to try it on. So this is my yarn. This is the Brunch of Commanders colorway.
It is really washed out.
Yeah, well,
no, still washed out.
Here's the skein. Probably won't help, but it is a light blue.
Yeah, that show's not too bad.
Yeah, it's a white and light blue, kind of like an aqua color with some yellow speckles. And it is from a kit that I did with Lynn at Sunshine and Bubblegum for the Commander's Palace restaurant. It's inspired by the striped awning above the restaurant and the yellow lights in the windows. And the kit originally came with this bread pudding Progress Keeper. And I do have 2 left. If you'd like one, they're not included in the kit. They're just a la carte. And I think I have 1 skein of this yarn if you're interested. But it's on the soft sock base. And I am knitting it on a US 0. We had talked about this at length, so I'm not going to go into it. But basically my gauge was too loose, even though I've knit a million socks out of this yarn. So I'm doing a 0. I'm doing 70... No, that's a lie. I'm doing 68 stitches. And it's knitting up just like my regular socks on my size 1. So I don't know what kind of witchcraft is going on, but they work. So
you going to say what the heels and toes are?
Oh, yeah. The heels and toes are the same base. My soft sock 75-25, and the colorway is Butterbeer. So that is my first work in progress. And again, I'll probably finish the sock and then cast on the second one and then not touch it for a month. So, but it's, everything with a plan. There's no time limit. I'm just going to, that way I don't have to cast on another sock. I can just work on other things in the meantime. So
it's a plan.
It is a plan.
Okay, my first work in progress is I've actually started my first sweater.
Ta-da!
So I am working on the Serena sweater, and it is by Gretchen Ronevik. I think that's how you say her name. And I think I'm about 24 rows in. It's got a lace detail.
Oh, that's pretty.
On the back.
I haven't actually looked at it up close.
That's the front.
Oh, fancy. Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to have a short lace detail on the back. I think it goes
maybe
around the point to where you split for the sleeves.
Yeah.
And so this is what I have so far.
It's kind of awkward to hold sweaters.
I mean, especially when you're first starting off. Here's a strip of knitting.
Yeah.
But basically, I have started. I am knitting this on Madeline Tosh Pashmina, and the colorway is Cactus Flower.
I have 2 skeins of that, and it is amazing.
It is a beautiful color.
Ugh.
And I am alternating 2 skeins.
It's what is it, merino silk? Cashmere? Is that what it is?
I am not sure.
I think it's merino silk cashmere. It's pashmina. It's a sport weight, but it's heavenly. It's so
I am
nice.
not sure, but I am alternating 2 skeins. And I had some issues with this one in the cake, so that's why it doesn't look very cakey.
It's an ugly cake.
But anyway, it's going okay. There's a part in the pattern I had a question about, so I'm waiting to hear back from the designer. But it's coming along, and I'm glad that I've actually started. I am still a bit scared about doing a cardigan. I just don't feel very confident about it. But I'm sure as I go further along, I'll feel better about it.
Yep. Yeah, once you put the sleeve stitches on waist yarn, you kind of can tell what's what and what, like, it kind of takes shape. So then from there, you kind of, like, it's just like zoom back and forth.
Yeah,
so.
and two, I mean, once I finish the lace section, I think it'll go a lot faster too. Because then, the increases and the stockinette, that kind of stuff, are easy to remember. But I'm having to pay attention to the lace section on the back, you know.
I hate paying attention.
Well, it's not as easy as something that's vanilla-y. So
I'm going to show my sweater. This is in my bag from Mrs. Moog with a little sheep on it, and it's a great bucket size, or bucket shape. This is my So Faded sweater by Andrea Mowry, and I have split for the sleeves. This is the front, okay. I have split for the sleeves. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a row, but if you're knitting in the round, you're kind of always in the middle of a row unless you're on the edge, and then it doesn't really matter.
It's going to help you roll it down a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, it's curling because it's stockinette. So this is what I have so far. And I think it's actually going to end up being too big because I think my gauge is still a little bit off, but that's okay because I kind of want it to be oversized. But I am, look how big the sleeve holes are. It's going to be a big sleeve. It's okay. I'm knitting this out of Knox Yarn Co. And this green color, thank you. This green color is Ford Anglia 105E. That's not it.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
that's how much left of that.
Yeah. I just need a little bit to do the tops of the sleeves, I think.
And then this is the color you're working
with
now.
Yes, that one is Luna.
Okay. Do you want to share the rest?
Sure, real quick.
Okay.
This is the next color called Love and Monsters.
It's really getting blown out.
Yeah.
All right. And then this
one? The lighter one. Yeah, it's Kitten Party.
Kitten Party. And the last one?
Memento Mori.
Oh, I love that one.
I know, I love that one too. I bought that one from Socks for Larry, and then I'm like, yeah, it goes with my fade too well, so I have to keep it.
This is Robin's swatch, so you can kind of see how the fade is going to go.
So I've faded the 2 colors. I faded these 2. So the fade went well. Fade accomplished. And I'm just now knitting in the round with the Luna colorway.
And then you'll fade into this one.
Yes. The thing that is not confusing and not like it's a bad thing, I'm just surprised. She doesn't offer dimensions on where to change colors. She's like, this is how I did it, but she doesn't tell you change colors here. It's basically after the sleeves, you just go.
So it's up to you to determine how
much
long
you want it
each
to be.
of your sections.
Yeah. And there's also no shaping, which is interesting. It's kind of just like, it's like a
boxy.
Yeah, there we go. It's like more of a boxy fit. And I'm very bottom heavy, so I might put in some waist shaping or at least some hip shaping. But we'll see once I get to that point. How I'm feeling and how it's going, but
gotta see how the fit's going.
Yeah, it's a challenge to try on. I've tried it on once, but the needles are a 40-inch, and that doesn't quite make it over my bust, so I have to put it on waist yarn because I know some people can just try it on with the needles on. I can't, unfortunately.
You don't have a bigger cord?
No, if I had a bigger cord, then I wouldn't be able to get all the way around. It would stretch it too much. If I had like a 46 or what's.
You could do magic glue.
Maybe. I don't know. I like the way it is. I kind of like just going around.
Okay.
And I'll probably try it on once I get to the waist, maybe another 6 or 7 inches. But I'm really enjoying it. It's a good knit. It's an enjoyable knit, but I am having this thing in the front that I did. I don't know if y'all can see it right here. I am knitting from the inside and the outside of the cake to break up pooling, which is kind of the same idea as knitting with, alternating skeins. Because of the way that some of these are dyed, they were dyed, it's hard to explain, but I know because I'm a dyer, I can see that the way that they're dyed, they might pool if they continue to knit at the same, like on a sock. If you continue to knit a tube at the same amount of stitches, it's going to have some flashing, or the yarn is going to gather, the color's going to gather. But if you knit from the inside and the outside of the cake, you're essentially reversing it.
You're breaking that up.
Yes, you're breaking up the flashing and the pooling. So I have a little bit. You can see on the sleeve here, it did that before I started alternating. But that's what this line in the middle is from, because I was pulling too tight whenever I alternated. And I'm doing it under the arm now. And you can see that's why I'm alternating. So it's a lot. I've kind of changed my tension. You can still sort of see it, but it's not quite so bad. So I think I just need to be more careful whenever I do the next row where I switch the yarn.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I think this will block out. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a needle and I'm going to pull the stitches a little bit tighter just along this front to kind of make up for the little bit of extra room I need on those line of tighter stitches.
You'll be surprised what'll block her out.
Yeah. So really enjoyable. It is potato chippy. Especially the fading. The fading I did in one sitting, even though it's like 10 rows of just around and around and around. Just because it was just so much fun to like watch the colors stack, and I just really love it so far. I actually think I might put it on the back burner for a little bit because I do want to cast something else on, another sweater on that I wanted to have in the summer. So I want to get it finished or start it so I can finish it so I can wear it. Whereas this is definitely more of a cool weather fall sort of thing. So, yeah, I might take it to like knit group or something because it's just stockinette in the round. But I think I'm going to start my Tegna at some point this soon and put this on the back burner.
All right.
So that is my sweater.
All right. The other project that I've been working on has been a pair of socks. And, of course, this one's inside out because I was weaving in ends.
I was like, why do you turn it inside out?
To do my
weaving
ends.
in ends. Yeah.
So this is Mustache Perfect Sock, and it's her perfectly matching socks in the Leia colorway. And then I'm doing Heels and Toes in Hedgehog Fibers sock in the color Pollen. It's some extra that I had left over from a previous project. And as usual, I am knitting 2 socks concurrently, not on the same needle. This one I am obviously past the heel, and this one I am just now getting up to the heel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be a row or 2, or I may be on the increased rows that I do for the little mini gusset. But yeah, so that's the sock that I'm doing. I do a rounded toe by Tanya Murray. Then I do, Then I do a Fish Lips Kiss Heel by the Socks Therapist. And then I also do with a couple of gusset increases as noted by Mina's Vanilla Sock Recipe.
Your toe, the contrast toe that you do is a lot longer than the one that I do.
Okay.
Just interesting. I'm just looking at it.
I mean, you just do it as long as you want to do it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it.
I'm like, that looks good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is there a certain amount you're supposed to do?
No, I usually just do past the toe increases, like one row past the toe increases. But
I just thought it'd be fun to do a little
just
more.
like a nice block of the
so,
yellow.
This is what the yarn looks like in a cake. She has them already separated for you, and so you're gonna have two little mini matching cakes, and so this is one of them. And as you can tell, it has a really wide area of the cream with speckles. Oh, that's getting blown out. Kind of see it way back here.
Mm-hmm.
This has speckles, and then she goes into a striping section, and then it goes up here into, well, as you can see better on this sock, as it goes into another area of cream.
Yeah.
So that's the other project I'm
That's the
working
same
on.
yarn I did my Christmas socks for Larry last year. And I noticed yours, the brown is a lot more yellow.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Now this is one of Stacy's skeins that was
Millens?
underweight.
Yeah.
And because it was a smaller and I can't remember, let's see how. This was only 61 grams. So because the total was only 61 grams, I just definitely wanted to make a bigger toe. Just so, I mean, I'm not really sure how much 61 grams will make on my socks. So I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of sock. Plus I wanted a little,
covered,
yeah, and I wanted a little left over for my granny stripe blanket as well. So I probably will do the pollen on the cuffs as well, depending upon where I hit in the striping sequence when I get to the point to where I want to start casting off.
It would look really good if you had the white, the stripe, and then the white, and then the cuff. And the yellow.
Yeah, it just depends on how far that goes.
Yeah.
Depending on how high I want my sock.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Cool beans.
So that's my other work in progress.
So I have one more. This is in my project bag from Southern Sparrow Handmade, who is our friend Tiffany.
Yay!
Solemnly swear that I'm up to no good with the sorting hat charm. So it is in my Harry Potter bag because it is Harry Potter project and yarn because your girlfriend is on it because we theme everything. Everything has to match. Y'all know that. So
as much as possible.
I know.
Sure.
I love matching.
I like that stitch
pattern. I know. We'll show you in a second.
Oh.
This is the Obliviate pattern by Sarah Stevens, and the yarn is Nora George. Come on, Nora George. There we go. Nora George yarns. It is the colorway is Bill and Fleur Get Married, and it's her gold sparkle sock. 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% gold stellina, and it is top down, obviously.
You need to see the stitch pattern on this.
Look at that. And there's my little, I think it's from Pitter Patter Polymer is the stitch marker. But look at the back.
That's one side. That's the back. Look how gorgeous the back of the sock
is. It is amazing.
Is.
And, just hit myself in the face. She talks about in the pattern how the pattern is called Obliviate because of Hermione. In the last book, she obliviates her parents so they don't remember her in case something happens to her. And so it was a really good explanation. I've already forgotten it, but it's about how she's complex, but she's also like, really warm. I'm butchering that, but it's really interesting, I promise.
Is it in the pattern notes?
Yes, it's in the pattern notes.
Okay, so if you go on Ravelry and you look up the pattern, she'll explain to you why she named it that?
Yeah, I'm going to find it because it was actually really interesting. Can you show this? Just show the sock. It reminds me a little bit of the monkey sock.
Okay, there's what the back looks like. And look at that cool pattern on the front. I mean, just really
it's
cool.
Awesome.
I almost feel like this light, we have a studio light. I almost feel like it's too close because it's like blowing. Yeah,
we'll play with it. We'll play with it next time. Okay, the sock pattern is knit cuff down, was inspired by Hermione Granger. The front of the sock resembles her muggle side, where in order to keep her family safe, she has to erase herself from their life.
I'm assuming this is the muggle side?
Yes. The back represents her wizarding life, for even though it's a part of her, she has to keep that part of her life hidden from muggles. It's got texture and mock cables.
Very cool texture
in the
mock cables.
And this is like a potato chippy sort of pattern because I don't remember knitting this Like, I remember enjoying it, but, like, I'm like, where did this yarn, like, where did this sock, quarter of a sock come from? So this is my reward knitting right now.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, well, we went to go knit with our friends, a couple of weeks ago, at the Starbucks across the lake, and I worked on this, and, like, we were there for a couple hours, and it was, I can tell where I am. This is the only challenging part. And I can tell where I am based on where the increases line up. So it's not really a problem to do it, in company. And that's where I knit most of it. And I guess I don't remember because I was talking and, chatting and drinking coffee. But it was it's so enjoyable. And this yarn is incredible.
It's beautiful yarn.
Yeah, I wish that she was... I'm sure she likes living in the UK, but I wish she lived here so I didn't have to pay shipping because I would order so much of her yarn.
Right? I mean... You can't even enjoy this because, like, way back here is really what it looks like, but then you can't see that.
What I do is I angle that light down to take my product photos, so maybe we just need to lift it back up.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, because usually it's not.
Yeah, we'll fix it for next time. But I'm going to post this on Instagram at some point.
Beautiful.
So it's super subtle. That's okay. It's not. There we go. It's like peach and blue with like speckles of dark blue and
with the gold stellina.
Yeah, it's amazing. So awesome job, Tracy. Awesome job, Sarah. Fantastic.
Robin's happy.
I love this sock. I kind of want to knit another one out of my yarn, but I'm not sure what colorway I would do. But
it would be pretty.
Yeah, maybe until the very end, because I've been wanting to do. I have a cardigan planned with that one, which I'll talk about later. But that may be. We'll have to see. We'll see if the urge hits me. But that is my last work in progress. And there's the yarn band that I forgot to put back in the bag, but that's okay. I'll do it later.
Yep.
So we have some Throw Me Something, Mister.
Yep.
Some acquisitions. Would you like to go first?
No, you go ahead.
I will go first. We had a Knit Picks order this week, or this chunk of time. Not quite a week.
Yeah, I ordered some things, but I'm not really going to show them. I'll just show them whenever I use them.
Yeah. I've had my eye... one of my things I wanted to do this year was try some colorwork mittens, because I really enjoyed knitting my first pair of mittens last year, at the end of last year. And I've always wanted to do colorwork, but I'm very worried about my tension. So I wanted to get some yarn that I wouldn't be too upset if it got, ruined or if they didn't come out right. And I knew that this yarn is good for colorwork because it blooms. So I got some Knitter's Pride palette.
Knit Picks
palette. Yeah. So the pattern I've had my eye on is called the OWL mittens, and I think it's from the unofficial Harry Potter collection book. They did like a booklet of Harry Potter patterns, and it had the cardigan on the front.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
It's from that one, and they have it. You can buy it now, just the pattern, because I think the actual book is out of print. They have it as like a book, but it doesn't include this pattern. It's only some of the patterns. And I think there's some errata. I think that they because what it is, I'm going to explain it. It's got owls on the back of the hand, like owls sitting on branches or sitting in the owlry. And then on the palm, it has spells from the books written out. And there were some misspellings on the palm, on the chart for the palm, for the spells. So there's some errata out. Maybe that's why they pulled it from the book whenever they published it. I don't know. But I bought 2 sets. I haven't decided which one I wanted to do. This one's more Slytherin themed.
So you'd only use 2 colors in the mittens.
Yeah, it's the owls are one color and the background's the other color. So these 2 are Finley Heather and Douglas Fir, kind of Slytherin themed. And these 2 are a little bit more Gryffindor themed, maybe. This is Hare Heather and Stellar Heather.
Got those as kind of just more rustic.
Yeah.
I don't think of those as any house.
This one is like red undertones. It's not really picking up, but it's kind of red, and this one's more warm.
That's definitely a brown, though. I mean, if you're searching for a red...
I'd call it a purple, maybe. Anyway, maybe not Gryffindor, maybe just...
Okay. Just a weird name for it.
Yeah, well, it's like, I don't know.
It's brown.
It's a warm tone brown. Let's call it that.
It's brown. But the name is Stellar Heather. And
Stellar, like stars, yeah.
Interesting where they got the name from.
Yeah, I haven't decided which set I'm going to use, or if I might mix it up. I don't know. This one definitely says Slytherin to me.
Sure.
I'm not a Slytherin, but I do like the green.
You've always liked green.
Yeah. So I'm not sure when I'm going to cast these on, but I'm glad I have the yarn and I'm glad I have options because they look a little bit different whenever you get them in person.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted, because this has the cooler undertones, you know, you don't know until you see it. So
sure. Yeah, I've always wanted to do some color work mittens, but I'm leaning more towards the Spilly Jane mittens.
I love Spilly Jane.
Oh my gosh. I mean, but you're talking multiple colors, and I just don't enjoy doing color work because I don't like knitting with two hands. And
I haven't done it enough.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times, and both times I'm like, I'm not loving this.
Yeah,
so, but I love the patterns and I love the finished products, but I don't know. I don't know if I ever see me doing that.
Yeah.
So, I received this for working. Woo! This is a skein of roadside bluebonnets.
Teenybutton Studio. What is it?
Tough Sock. And it was one of the colors that I wanted to get for helping Robin out, packaging orders, winding minis, etc., etc. And so this will go into my stash this week.
You hear him crying?
Yes, it's beautiful.
He wants in. He wanted out, now he wants in.
Well, that's a cat.
So, this is my last Throw Me Something Mister for this week, and the more eagle-eyed among you will know where this is from. So this, my friends, is an Andre Soussac blank that I got for a fantastic price from my friend Susie, who is Apron Addict, who is doing a D-stash. And she did have another one that went into her shop, but I am 100% sure that it's gone. But I'm so happy to have this one.
It's on Stellina.
It's on Stellina. My second one is back here. This is my first Andre Soussac blank. And I'm not sure if I'm ever going to use it, because I just kind of...
I'll see, I would frame that.
Well, I'm going to frame one of the panels, but I kind of like just having the potential of it just sitting there, like it could be anything, but like once I knit it up into something, it's already something, and it can't be anything else unless
it's
I
not like you
it.
can turn it back into what it was.
Yeah. You can't. I can't re-knit the blank, you know.
I mean, you could, but it probably wouldn't come out the same. Look
so
how pretty
is it double-ended? I haven't actually. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I'll figure it out once I start knitting with it. But this is probably going to be summer socks, because look at those colors.
Flamingos.
Gorgeous. Just the gradation in the flamingos. Like, she's so talented. I love Andre Soussac.
Yeah, she is. She's extremely talented.
Yeah. So this one's on Stellina. So definitely summer socks. I don't know if it'll be this summer or not, and I'll fold this up later. But
just whenever.
I'm super happy. I'm super excited to have it. And now that I have one, I don't feel so bad if I knit it up, because I have another one. Even if I never knit the other one, the fact that I have it.
You've got one in reserve.
Yes, exactly. So
that makes a lot of sense.
That's the thought process.
I don't have any in reserve.
No. You got something else?
Yes, I have one more thing. We mentioned Georgianne earlier in the podcast. She messaged me and asked me if I had a David Tennant inspired project bag, and those of you who regularly watch the podcast know that I have a love for Mr. Tennant. So she sent me a bag, and y'all will, if you know anything about the 10th Doctor, you will know that he wore his Converse, his red Converse, and so isn't this a really cute bag? It's a nice size bag. It's got a nice size bottom on it, and it's got the bottom part of it is sparkly, as well as the handle. And yeah, so I was excited to get this from Georgianne, and it will definitely have a project going into it very soon.
At some point, soon.
Yep. So that is my second Throw Me Something Mister that I was going to talk about. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to mention the nitpicks. Yeah. I just bought a bunch of some skeins to work on design ideas. So
first drafts.
It's not like anything that's like a finished object or project or anything.
We don't. That's the end of our Throw Me Something Mister segment.
Yes,
but we don't have a question for y'all this week because we don't have any ideas. So,
if we have ideas, we just can't really think of a good question for y'all. Yeah. So, we're going to let it slide this time.
Like, I think of things, and I'm like, I should write that down. I should tell Mom. So
that's exactly what I do as well.
And then we sit down to do the show notes, and I'm like, oh, no, what do you want to do?
I had something, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, but we appreciate everybody who comes and leaves a comment.
We love hearing the answers to the questions.
Yeah, so nothing this week, but, you know, we'll have one maybe next time if we remember to write stuff down.
We'll have one for next time.
So
we'll come up with something.
Yeah, that is all of our knitting content for this week. I'll do a little shop update segment real quick. But that's a short episode, huh?
Yeah.
We haven't had a short episode in a long time.
No, we have not.
So this Friday is going to be a sort of special update. I thought about this for a while, and I have decided I want to do dyed-to-order sweater kits.
And this is May 18th?
Yes, Friday, May 18th, which is a couple of days away, 3 days away. I have had my eye on the Zweig sweater for a long time. For those of you who aren't familiar, it's by Caitlin Hunter, and it's a solid body and then like a color work. Not really color work. It's like a lace.
Z-E-I-G?
Z-W-E-I-G.
Oh, Z.
Yeah, some people say Zweig, some people say Zweig with a V.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure which is right, so I'm just going to, whatever, you know.
Okay.
So I have 2 new colorways, speaking of Slytherin. I'm going to show them now, but they are going to be dyed to order, and the way it's going to work is you can pick how many of the main color and how many of the contrast color.
So you don't necessarily have to be knitting that sweater.
Yeah.
It's just sweater quantities.
Yes,
that
if
you're
you want to
offering.
do a breathing space by Vera Valimaki, if you want to do a timely cardigan, I have a bunch of them. If you want to do the old romance cardigan by Joji Locatelli, if you want to do a single color cardigan, you can do that. I'm going to do, since they're fingering weight skeins, I don't think anybody's going to need more than 5. But if you do, just let me know and I'll set you up a custom listing. But you can choose, if you don't want the contrast color, you can just get the main color. So I have 3 different ones that I've come up with, and they're not dry, so they're loose and floppy. You know, they're just.
But Robin wanted to show them.
But I wanted to show them. So this is the Slytherin set. Both new colorways. They are going to be. I haven't decided if I'm going to.
Let me hold one.
In a second.
Oh.
I haven't decided if I want to list them as single skeins or just keep them dyed to order for the sweater kits for now, or if I want to list the ones that I have. They are dyed to order, so it will take a week or 2, maybe even 3 weeks. I have to look at my schedule because I'm doing another wholesale order right now, and I'm dying for Houston, so I have to look and see. But these are the 2 new Slytherin colorways. So the bottom is Slytherin House Emerald, and it's still damp, so pardon the mess. But this is called Parcel Tongue. And it is a little bit richer than it's showing on the screen, but it is a tonal, semi-solid emerald green, Parcel Tongue. And then this one I am calling Window to the Great Lake. And there's in Pottermore they talk about the Slytherin common room and about how the common room since it's under the lake, it's in the dungeons. There are windows that open up into the Great Lake. So the Slytherin students can watch the giant squid and the merpeople swim across.
Ah, cool.
So it's Slytherin silver with emerald and navy speckling. So I think that would be really, really good together. This for the main color and then this for the contrast. If you wanted to do the timely, you could do stripes. Or if you wanted to do, you know, the Zweig sweater, this would be for the lace yoke. So that's the first set. The second set is not Harry Potter themed. I just thought I'd offer something for those people who don't like Harry Potter, which is perfectly okay. We still love you. So this one is going to include chicory as the main color because it goes with everything. It's one of my favorites. And the contrast color is going to be Cake Sniffers, which is a newer colorway that I've had. It keeps selling out every week, so dyed to order may be the best way to get it if you're not at the update. But here is how they look together. That would be good. Here is how they look together. I love Cake Sniffers. So chicory is the main color and Cake Sniffers as the contrast color. And Cake Sniffers is an allusion to a series of unfortunate events. Book 5, The Austere Academy, there's a little girl who calls the Baudelaire orphans Cake Sniffers. And I think I talked about this.
Speckles in that.
I know. I'm
Crazy.
I love those neon speckles. So that is going to be a second sweater kit. And then the last sweater kit is another Harry Potter themed one. So the main color is going to be this color. This is Madame Apolline. And it's actually, I've reformulated it slightly. I felt like this was a little bit close to one of the other colors I have. So it's a tiny, tiny bit darker and a tiny bit more red toned. But it is the same kind of grayish purple color. And the coordinating color for that is called Until the Very End, which is a new colorway that I did for my Harry Potter update 2 weeks ago. And this is another one that keeps selling out. I know there's a couple people who keep trying to get their hands on a skein on soft sock. So that is how they look together.
Now, what bases can you get these on?
Just soft sock.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to offer on Lush, but the yardage isn't as much, so you would need more skeins. So this just seems like the most cost-efficient way if you're buying for a sweater, especially for a bigger sweater. I know I've talked last week about knitting, plus-size garments and accepting your body the way it is, and I don't want to price people out. Although offering the option I might do it in the future, but for now, just soft sock. So that's the third option. I am probably going to do the other houses as well, not for this update, but in the future I will do Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, and Ravenclaw.
You have Ravenclaw.
I have Ravenclaw colors, I just don't have them dyed up, and I don't have enough stock to be able to dye them up and have them photographed and listed for this update, and then the yarn coming in, I'm worried about not having enough, and I don't want to push my dye time too far out. So 3 options, covers my bases a little bit. Harry Potter fans who aren't Slytherin still have an option. And then non-Harry Potter fans have an option as well. So,
and if you're not a Harry Potter fan and you like the colors anyway, go for that.
Yeah. So I will show y'all what else is going to be in that update. Hang on.
You said you were also going to show what's currently in the shop?
Yeah, I will. I'm trying to think of what's going into the shop Friday.
Oh, sorry.
Newsletter subscribers will be getting fancy pictures of the skeins I just showed tomorrow. Because the skeins are wet, they need to dry, and I'll take the pictures in the morning and get the newsletter out in the afternoon. In Friday's update, I will also have some of my summer colors, Pontchartrain Beach, and possibly Hurricanes and Hand Grenades. So that is what else is coming on Friday. I don't have any to show you. Pontchartrain Beach is cooling down in the dye pots, and I haven't done Hurricanes and Hand Grenades yet, but it will be done for Friday. So now I will show you what is currently in the shop.
Let me put that on?
Yes, please. I had a big shop update. I had a big Harry Potter shop update on the 4th, and then I had a medium shop update last week because I had my back problem, but I did get a little bit done. So currently in the shop, I'm not going to show you everything, I'm just going to show you a handful. These 3 colors, these are the colors I used for my Impressionist Mystery Knit Along. This is the Owlry, this is Death Day Party, and this is Mulligrubs. So I have 3 of these as ready-to-ship sets. I have a couple single skeins of the Owlry. I have, Owlry is on soft sock. I have a couple single skeins of Death Day Party on tough sock, and I have a couple single skeins of Mulligrubs on DK. And then,
that over there.
This I actually just listed less than an hour ago. This was the colorway for January. This is Pesky Pixie. It was the club colorway, and so May is the release of the colorway. And I had sold out, but I went ahead and did my inventory, and I found 2 extra skeins. So this may not be in the shop by the time y'all see this, but I will have more for the update after this one. So 7 days from the 18th, whatever that day is. But right now, this one is in the shop. This is on Shimmer Sock, and then there is one on Solo. I have Weasley Twins Snowball Fight. This one is on my Aran base, 80-10-10 Cashmere Merino Cashmere Nylon, MCN. I was about to say it's 80% cashmere. It is not 80% cashmere. Weasley Twins Snowball Fight. I also have this on DK and on soft sock in the shop. And then last but not least, I have 3 a.m. on Bourbon Street. This has been a really big seller, I know, for a lot of the stores that stock my yarn. So I have a couple of skeins left over from my last show. So it is a kind of rainbow color, very, very neon, kind of like what you see at 3 a.m. on Bourbon Street. So that is what it looks like. There are 2 skeins in the shop. I have a lot of yarn. I have an awful lot of yarn in the shop. I have a lot of silk left. I have a good amount of DK, mostly soft sock. And at some point, probably next week, I'll go through and I'll pull some of them out of the shop and bring them for Houston, put them in the Houston bin. Just because some colors sell better in person than online. You know, it's so weird. It's such a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, it's hard to see them online or what they truly look like.
Yeah, some of them don't photograph well.
Well, even as we're trying to show them, they're not showing up well.
Yeah, and I can edit photos all day, but, you know, your monitor configuration, or if you're looking at it on your phone, it looks different. Mm-hmm. So some colors just sing in person. So
well, especially
those are
the 3 a.m. Yeah. I mean, it's like, you look at it and you're like, okay, that's really wild and bold. But then when you see the pattern that I knit up in that colorway, Hill Country Weavers recently did. If you get their newsletter, you would know about this. Or if you live in the Austin area, they just did a Mother's Day event with Robin Jarn, and they asked for 2 of our shawls as samples, and one of them was the crossbar that I knit in the 3 a.m. And when people look at it, like we had brought it to DFW, people were looking at it and they couldn't believe that that was the same skein as what it looked like in the skein versus what it looked like in the project. So sometimes when you look at something, you don't really know what you're going to do with it, but then when you find the perfect pattern, it's like, oh, okay, this is great. I'm going to get that. So, They all surprised.
They also have my Thalia shawl. If you want to see either of those shawls in the flesh, they're in Austin right now. But
that one's with your Magnolia Blossom and Chicory.
Yes, I do have both of those in the shop right now. I have a lot of yarn in the shop, so that's also one of the reasons why I'm doing a dyed to order listing, because my yarn shelf is extremely full, and I'm a little worried it's going to tip over if I put anything else on it. So
you can hang things off the back. And it wouldn't tip forward.
It'd be hard to get to, but
we're over there. We're looking at it. If you're wondering,
it's in the corner.
Our eyes are heading. I
have a grid wall set up, and it holds up about 120 to 150, and it's almost full. So that's how much is in the shop right now. But I'm not complaining. I love being surrounded by yarn. So but if somebody else wants it, you can take it off my hands. So I think that's all we have for you this week.
I think so.
Thank you for watching. Thank you to any new viewers, and thank you to everybody who comes back every time to see us. We love talking to y'all, and we have some fun knit-alongs planned for later on in the year. So we're excited to share that with you. I think we're good to go. Is that everything to say?
I think so. I think that's it for us.
All right. We will see y'all next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.